You know, my friend, I often wonder, what does it truly mean to be Filipino these days? In this age of TikTok, K-pop, and all sorts of trends from other countries, sometimes we get a bit confused. We see heroes from Marvel, cool ninjas in anime, and sometimes we scratch our heads and ask, where's our own? Our very own, that Filipino brand we can be proud of worldwide. It's not bad to enjoy things made by others, but it's a different feeling when we have our own stories, our own heroes. Something we can say, wow, that's Filipino. The search for our identity is like looking for a lost cat at night. You know it's there, but you need the right light to find it. Being Filipino is more than just eating adobo or speaking Tagalog with po and opo. It's in our blood, in the stories of our grandparents, and in the legends that shaped our consciousness even before foreigners arrived. The problem is, sometimes these stories are covered in dust in old books, or in the minds of the elderly. We need to find a new way to bring them to life, a way that young people today can understand and enjoy. Think about it. If superheroes from other countries have capes and hammers, what are the weapons of our heroes? An harness? An amulet? Or maybe a witty comeback that can make you laugh and cry at the same time? This is where the importance of having our own pop culture icons comes in. These serve as a mirror of our dreams, our fears, and what we value. When you see a character on TV or in comics that looks like you, talks like you, and fights for things that are important to you, a connection suddenly forms. There's a validation, as if the world is telling you, you're okay, buddy. Being Filipino is cool. This is what we lack today. The constant reminder that our culture is rich, colorful, and full of stories worth shouting to the world. We need our own Avengers, our own Justice League, whose power doesn't come from gamma radiation, but from the heart of our race. So the challenge for our writers, artists, and creators is huge. How do we make our culture cool for the new generation? How do we show that the stories of our ancestors are not just for bedtime, but can also be a source of awesome action and adventure? The answer might be simpler than we think. Maybe we just need to mix the old and the new. Maybe we need to take our beloved mythological figures and dress them in shiny costumes, give them a theme song, and let them save the Philippines, one giant monster at a time. This is where the magic begins, where we find our own brand of Astig. Before Thor and Captain America became famous, we already had our own powerful beings. These are the stars in the stories of our ancestors, tales told while Grandma sat in her rocking chair. They are the Diwatas, Encantos, and other creatures living in ballet trees, under the sea, and on mountaintops. Just imagine Maria Makiling, the beautiful Diwata, guardian of Mount Makiling. She's like the Wonder Woman of the Philippines, a powerful woman who protects nature and punishes those who abuse it. She doesn't need an invisible jet. The whole forest is her kingdom and weapon. We also have badass creatures like the Bakunawa. According to legend, the Bakunawa is a giant winged sea serpent, and it's the reason why eclipses happen. It supposedly eats the moon. Just imagine its potential as an epic villain, or maybe a misunderstood anti-hero. And let's not forget the Kapre, giant beings who live in large trees and always hold a big cigar. At first glance, they look scary, but many stories say they can be friends if you respect their home. They are the original guardians of the galaxy, but their galaxy is the trees in our backyard. Then there are the Tikbalang, creatures with a human body and a horse's head and feet. They are known for leading travelers astray in the forest. They're like Loki from Norse mythology, tricksters who love to play with people's minds. But if you can tame a Tikbalang, it will be a loyal helper to you for life. And of course the Duende, small beings who live underground. There are white ones that bring good luck and black ones that bring bad luck. They are the original, small but terrible, showing that power is not always measured by size. These are just some of the many characters in our mythology. The richness of our folklore is a goldmine for stories. Every region in the Philippines has its own version of legends and unique creatures. From the sirena and siokoi in our oceans, to the manananggal flying at night, our imagination is full of characters just waiting to be given new life. These are not just monsters. They reflect our beliefs, our relationship with nature, and our understanding of what is good and evil. They are our original superheroes and supervillains. We just need to remember them and give them a new stage to perform. Do you remember when you were a kid? When afternoon came, you'd run home from school just to catch your favorite show. For many of us, that show was a Japanese Super Sentai series. Shows like Bioman, Maskman, and Jetman. What was it about these shows that made us love them so much? It's simple. The idea of ordinary people gaining powers to protect the world. Those 5 friends who, when a monster appeared, would all shout Henshin or transform, and suddenly get colorful costumes and special powers. It was so fun to watch, right? The Super Sentai formula is simple but effective. You have a team, usually 5 of them, and each has their own color and personality. There's always Red, the serious leader. There's Blue, the cool and strategic member. Yellow, who is often the strong one or the cheerful one. Pink or White, the heart of the team, usually a girl. And Black or Green, who is a bit mysterious or rebellious. Because of their differences, it was easy for us to find a character we could relate to. Want to be a leader? You idolize Red. If you're a bit mischievous, maybe Black is your pick. This setup gave us squad goals even before that term became popular. Another popular element was teamwork. In Super Sentai, you rarely see just one hero defeating the enemy. They always need to work together. They each have their own weapons. But when individual powers aren't enough, they combine their weapons to form a super weapon, like the power bazooka. And when the monster grows big, because monsters always grow big, they call on their giant robots, or mecha. These robots combine to form an even bigger and stronger robot. This is the ultimate Bayanihan move. It teaches us that no matter how strong you are individually, you are always stronger when you work together as a team. The appeal of Super Sentai is universal. It's about hope, friendship, and the endless fight of good versus evil. Even though we know the heroes will win in the end, we still look forward to how they overcome challenges in each episode. The colorful explosions, the cool fighting poses, and the catchy theme song. All of these became part of our childhood. It's a storytelling style that works, a style that resonates with the Filipino spirit of camaraderie and fighting for what is right. So, it's no surprise that this formula is a perfect mold for our own stories. Now, let's imagine this. What if we mix our rich mythology with the cool Super Sentai style? The result: a superhero team we call the Makabayan Force. This is a group of 5 young Filipinos, each chosen by a powerful nature spirit to be the protectors of the Philippines. Their powers don't come from technology or an alien planet. Instead, they come from the spirits of our ancestors and creatures from our legends. When there's danger, they won't shout Henshin, but maybe for the country, and they'll transform. They'll wear costumes inspired by our traditional clothes and mythological creatures. The leader, Red Capre, gets his strength from the spirit of the Capre. He's strong, steady, and his weapon is a giant harness stick made from a ballet tree. His personality is like the older brother of the group, always ready to protect his friends. The second member, Blue Serena, has water powers from the Serenas of our oceans. She's beautiful, smart, and can control waves and talk to fish. She's the group's planner. Her costume shines like scales, and her weapon is a trident that can calm storms. The quick and fast member is Yellow Tikbalang. His power, of course, comes from the Tikbalang, which gives him super speed and quickness. He's a bit of a trickster and likes to joke around, the funny one of the team. But when it's time to fight, he's serious. His weapon is a pair of shiny balisong knives. There's also White Diwata, the heart of the group. Her power comes from Maria Makiling, which gives her healing powers and the ability to command plants and animals. She reminds the team of their mission to protect not just people, but also nature. Her weapon is a charm, or a flower that blooms when she uses it. And of course, the 5th member, the somewhat dark and mysterious Black Bakunawa. At first, he was an enemy, an agent of evil consumed by anger. But in the end, he found goodness in his heart and joined the Makabayan Force. His power comes from the giant Bakunawa, giving him the ability to shoot dark energy blasts and have tough armor. His story is about second chances, showing that anyone can change. Together, they are the Makabayan Force. They're giant robots, an eagle, a tamaraw, a whale shark, a tarsier, and a carabao, which when they come together will form the Los Viminda Megazord. Cool, right? The story of Makabayan Force isn't just about colorful costumes and awesome superpowers. More than just fights and explosions, the heart of their story lies in the lessons it carries, especially the idea of Bayanihan. Bayanihan is a special Filipino culture that means a community helping each other for one goal, like lifting an entire nipa hut to move it. In Makabayan Force, this principle is very much alive. Red Capre can't beat a giant manananggal by himself. He needs Blue Serena's smarts, Yellow Tikbalang's speed, White Diwata's support, and even their former enemy Black Bakunawa. In every episode, we'll see how they value each other's strengths and weaknesses. Maybe in one fight, Yellow Tikbalang gets too proud and wants to go solo. But in the end, he'll learn that he needs his teammates' help. Or maybe there's an episode where White Diwata loses hope, and the whole team cheers her up. These kinds of stories teach young viewers that true power isn't in individual talent, but in the strength that forms when people unite. This is an important lesson, especially in our country where we often get divided because of different opinions. Aside from Bayanihan, Makabayan Force will also teach other important Filipino values. Respect for elders, shown in how they talk to their mentor, and old babalan. The value of family, where each team member has personal stories about their loved ones who inspire them in their fights. And of course, resilience or toughness. No matter how strong the enemy, no matter how many times they fall, they will always get back up to fight again. Because that's how we Filipinos are, right? No matter what typhoon, earthquake, or crisis comes, we still manage to smile and keep going. Their battles aren't just physical. Often, their enemies reflect the problems of our society. For example, a monster made of trash attacking rivers, which teaches about pollution, or an enchanted being angry because trees are being cut down in his forest, highlighting the issue of deforestation. This way, watching Makabayan Force isn't just entertaining, but also a way to open viewers' minds to important issues in our country. Every kapaw and blag becomes more meaningful because it has a deeper message. One of the best things about a show like Makabayan Force is that it can make learning about our culture and history super exciting. Let's be honest, for a lot of young people, social studies or history class can be a bit boring. It's hard to picture events from dry textbook pages. But what if these lessons were part of an action-packed superhero show? Suddenly, everything becomes interesting. For example, there could be an episode where the bad guy is an aswang that eats people's bravery, making them scared and easy to control. To defeat this aswang, the Makabayan Force needs to learn about our heroes like Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, or Gabriela Silang. They'd go to historical places like Intramuros or Rizal's house in Calamba. While they're looking for the bad guy's weakness, they, and the viewers, also learn about the courage and sacrifices of our ancestors. History isn't just a list of dates and names anymore, but a source of power that can be used to defeat the monsters of today. Learning becomes a big adventure. Each episode could be used to explore different parts of our culture. For example, an episode focused on finding a lost charm, which would take them to Ifugao to see the rice terraces and learn about the rituals of the native people. Or an episode where they need to protect a Pintados festival from a monster that wants to erase all color and art. In every story, the beauty and richness of our country are shown, from our beautiful sights to our delicious food to our colorful festivals. The bad guys themselves can even be history lessons. Imagine a group of villains called the Conquistadors, aliens who want to take over the Philippines and steal our natural resources. A clear picture of our colonial history. Their monsters could represent the unfair things we went through back then, like forced labor or the abuse by friars. When the Makabayan Force fights them, they're not just saving the country, but also giving new meaning to our fight for freedom. History becomes a living story, not a dead memory. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang mga kwentong tulad ang Makabayan Force? Kasi binibigyan nito ang mga batang Pilipino ang mga bayaning kamukha nila. Matagal na panahon, ang mga superhero na tinitinggalan natin ay mga Amerikano, Hapon, o kaya galing sa ibang planeta. Mapuputi sila, nagsasalita ang Ingles, at nakatira sa mga siyudad tulad ang New York o Tokyo. Wala namang masama dun, pero nagkakaroon ang isang lihim na mensahe na ang pagiging bayani ay para lang sa iba, hindi para sa atin. Na para maging astig o malakas, kailangan nating gayahin ang mga tagalabas. Ito ay isang uring kaisipang kolonyal na matagal na nating problema. Pero kapag mayroon ng Makabayan Force, biglang nagbabago ang lahat. Ang mga bida ay may kayumanging balat, panggo ang ilong at nagsasalita ng Tagalog at iba pang wikang Pilipino. Nakatira sila sa Maynila, sa Cebu o sa Davao. Ang kanilang mga problema ay mga problemang Pilipino. Kapag nakikita ito ang isang bata, ang mensahe ay malinaw, kaya ko ring maging bayani. Ang pagiging Pilipino ay hindi hadlang kundi isang pinagmumulan ang lakas. Ito ay nagpapalakas ang tiwala sa sarili at nagtatanim ang isang malusog na uring Pinoy pride, isang pagmamalaki na hindi lang nakabase sa panalo ni Pacquiao o sa Miss Universe, kundi sa malalim na pag-unawa at pagmamahal sa ating sariling kultura. Isipin mo ang epekto nito sa aming bata sa playground. Imbes na maglaro ang Power Rangers, maglalaro na sila ang Makabayan Force. Imbes na magaway kung sino si Spider-Man, mag-agawan sila kung sino si Yellow Tikbalang. Ang MJA panggalan ng ating MJA nilalang sa mitolohiya ay magiging bukambibig na nila. Ang mga kwento ang ating Makabayani ay magiging parte na ng kanilang laro. Ito ay isang napakalakas na paraning pagpasa ng kultura sa susunod na henerasyon. Hindi na ito sa pilitang pinag-aralan sa eskwelahan, kundi isang bagay na masaya nilang ginagawa at isinasabuhay. Ang ganitong uri ang representasyon ay may malaking epekto sa pagbuo ang pambansang pagkakakilanlan. Kapag mayroon tayong sariling MJ pop culture heroes na sumasalamin sa ating MGA pinakamahusay na katanggihan, katapangan, pagtutulungan, katatagan, nakakaroon tayo ang isang magkakasamang pangarap. Isang pangarap ang isang Pilipinas na mas maganda, mas malakas, at mas nakakaisa. Ang Makabayan Force ay hindi lang isang palabas sa TV, ito ay isang simbolo ang kung ano ang kaya nating marating bilang isang bansa. Ito ay isang paalala na ang pinakamalaking kapangyarihan natin ay ang pagiging Pilipino mismo. A superhero is only as good as their bad guys. In the story of the Makabayan Force, the enemies aren't just mindless monsters that destroy buildings. They are like mirrors of the real bad guys in our society, the problems we face every day. Giving these problems a face and a form helps us understand them better and know how to fight them in real life. This gives every fight our heroes have a deeper meaning and purpose. Imagine a bad guy named Baron Corrupcion. He's not a monster with horns, but a seemingly decent businessman who has the power to steal people's hope and trust. His followers are monsters, small monsters that suck up public funds. When the Makabayan Force fights him, the battle isn't just about physical strength, but also about showing honesty and doing what's right. This teaches the viewers to be smart and fight corruption in any form, big or small. There could also be a group of bad guys called the Disinfo Syndicate, led by a character named Fake News Queen. Her power is to spread lies and make people fight using social media. Her monsters are troll dyers who spread hate and bad talk online. The Makabayan Force's fight here isn't with punches, but by finding the truth, being responsible when sharing information, and promoting good discussions. It's a very important and timely message for today's digital age. There's also room for bad guys that show our own personal struggles. A monster that eats dreams, which represents mental health struggles like depression or anxiety, or an enemy that offers instant power in exchange for your soul, which symbolizes the temptation of instant gratification and shortcuts in life. When the Makabayan Force faces these enemies, we also learn to face our own fears and weaknesses. This shows that being a hero doesn't mean you don't have problems, but that you have the courage to face them. In the end, a story like Makabayan Force is more than just a simple pastime. It's an agimet, a charm that holds the spirit and power of our people. It's a way to tell ourselves and the whole world that Filipino culture is alive, vibrant, and something to be proud of. Mixing our old legends with a modern style like Super Sentai isn't disrespecting our traditions. Instead, it proves that our culture isn't stuck. It grows, changes, and always finds new ways to stay important and meaningful for every generation. Keeping our stories alive is a big job. It's like taking care of a fire. If we ignore it, it will slowly die until it's just ashes. But if we keep lighting it, if we add new fuel like fresh ideas and creative ways, it will stay bright and give warmth and light to future generations. These stories, from the legend of Bakunawa to the adventures of Makabayan Force, are like a bridge between our past and our future. So to my fellow creators, writers, artists, and every Filipino with a story in their heart, let's not be afraid to play with our culture. Let's not be afraid to mix it with new things, to give it a different look. What matters is that the heart of the story stays Filipino. Let's make our own comics, movies, games, and shows. Let's fill the world with heroes who speak our language, eat our food, and fight for our dreams. Let's show our children that being Filipino is their greatest superpower. Our identity isn't just something we find, it's something we keep creating. Every story we write, every character we bring to life, is another thread in the colorful tapestry of our Filipino identity. I hope, someday, when a Filipino child is asked who their favorite superhero is, they won't just say a foreign name. Maybe they'll say, Red Capre, because he's brave and he loves our country. And at that moment, we'll know we succeeded. The magic of our stories is very much alive, and it continues to empower our people.